When we are meditating, যখন আমরা ধ্যান করছি, the deep state of silence and calmness that you are entering upon, with gradual practice you will be able to do that. Probably members who are doing it for 1 or 2 classes, you will not experience it, but people who are doing for years now, they can experience that we enter upon a state of complete calmness, stillness, where there is no activity of the mind. So if you can enter upon this state with gradual practice, what happens? The entire energy of the body is conserved, because the mind also needs a lot of energy to function. Like our body needs energy to move from one place to other, just imagine how much energy the mind needs, because the mind is always moving. How much your body moves in a limited sense, but the mind is always restless. It is from here, your mind is in thousands of kilometers away, past, future, every time your mind is running. That is the nature of the mind. So a lot of energy is consumed by your mind. So when we are conserving this energy through dhyana, you will feel more re-energized. After a few days you will see that you have a lot of energy also the day if you are doing meditation. Little sleep will also be enough, because your sleep quality will improve. Your sleep quality will improve. So whatever we did in the dhyana session today is like positive reaffirmations. So every time there is a nature of the mind, we always remember the negative thing more than the positive thing. Suppose a person who compliments us for 10 years, but on the 10th year, he tells something negative about us. So you meet the person after 20 years, your mind will tend to remember that negative thing, that, oh, this man was so good, but he told me that my nose is little bit long. So this man is not. So this is the nature of the mind. Mind sticks to the negative. So to pull the mind up, we need a lot of energy. That is why we have to do the asana, pranayama and sattvic food. Is very important to keep the mind and your energy always high. It is like the rocket which goes up, so you need a lot of fuel for that. So the fuel of the mind is this pranayama, this dhyana and all these things, to keep your mood and everything always very balanced. High doesn't mean that you will be excited, but you will be very balanced. So practice Nari Shodhan Pranayama. What happens when you practice Nari Shodhan Pranayama? There are two nervous functioning, that is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic functioning of the nervous system. So this creates rest and activity alternately within us. Sometimes we get excited, sometimes we get dull. So this is opposite. So your heart is beating and relaxing. So all this entire body mechanism is set like this. So the ancient rishis of India, they realized that the mind is so subtle, how can it be controlled? এত সূক্ষ্ম জিনিসকে কি করে কন্ট্রোল করা যাবে? So they invented pranayama by controlling it through the breath. The breath and mind are deeply related. You see, when you are sad, your breathing becomes so shallow. You can hardly breathe when you are very sad. People who are crying and all, you will see that they can hardly breathe. And when you get angry, your breath becomes very fast. So the changing rhythm of the mind has an influence of the breathing pattern. So by controlling the breathing pattern, we can control the mind. Opposite can also be done. When we do Nadi Shodhan Pranayama, gradually you will experience, if you are doing it every day for at least 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, soon you will realize in 1 week time that your mind is gradually settling down. You are experiencing less upheavals of the mind. Your sleep will improve, your blood pressure will be very much in control. All these improvements will come. People who suffer from migraine, and if you can do Nadi Shodhan and Brahmari, that is the best combination. Do 10 rounds of Nadi Shodhan, 10 rounds of Brahmari, then little bit of rest, you can lie down. Particularly people who are suffering from insomnia, for them I am telling, Do Nari Shodhan 10 rounds slowly, not fast, very slowly, slowly. And 10 rounds of Brahmari. Then lie down on your bed, take some rest. Again get up. Again do 10 rounds of Nari Shodhan, 10 rounds of Brahmari. Then lie down on your bed, take some rest. Then third round, Nari Shodhan and Brahmari. Like this you do 3 rounds. By that time, if you start feeling asleep, if you start feeling that you're falling asleep, then go to sleep. Don't have to wake up and do again 1 round. Okay. So if you do this for long, you will see that slowly you're feeling that calmness, and you're feeling that you are relaxing deeply, and you will fall asleep while doing this. So people who suffer from high blood pressure, migraine, insomnia, anxiety, stress, temperament problems, all of this is a medicine for them. So we should do Nari Shodhan and Brahmari. Rest of the pranayams also which is taught, if I have talked to any individual, they can do, because many pranayams because of your health conditions you should avoid, and some you can do. But Nari Shodhan and Brahmari is everyone can do it. Doesn't have any contraindication. So that is it. So next week on Saturday, uh, Swamini will come from Uttarkashi, Himalayas. Sadhu, Sadhu Ma will come. So those who want to meet, come around 8:30, 8:30 she will come. So we will finish the process, but by 8:30. After that we will have a talk with Mataji. She has come from Himalayas to Kolkata now. So she has visited last time, Orko Prana Mataji. So many of you were there, and some of you who haven't seen her can meet her. So any questions from anyone? See, this yoga, asana, pranayama, these are the smaller part of yoga. These are the smaller practices of yoga. You do it for 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, enough. The larger practice of yoga in a Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana, Maharishi Patanjali says, Ahimsa Satya Astya. This you have to practice every time. Ahimsa is what? It doesn't mean non-violence. Non-violence is a negative sense of understanding ahimsa. So in India we have a very political understanding of ahimsa. Whenever we say that ahimsa, people say non-violence. Non-violence, the ahimsa which is in the political sense, which was propagated, is that when I cannot fight my enemy, then, if any of you are familiar with the Gandhian philosophy of ahimsa, I cannot fight the enemy, so I will take this path of ahimsa. But that is not what the Shastras are saying. Shastras give a different explanation of ahimsa. Ahimsa should start from your understanding that the same Atman, the same Jeev, same consciousness is residing in every individual of this creation, everything in this creation. Like while you are eating, sometimes mistakenly we bite our tongue. When we bite our tongue, जखन जीभ कामड़े फेली हमरा भूल करे, कभी कभी खाते खाते हम लोग ऐसे काट देते हैं अपने जीभ को. Then we don't break our teeth. Why? তখন দাঁত ভেঙে ফেলো. Why is it so? Because in both the tongue and the teeth, the sense of my is prevailing. So there is no aggression. Even if there is something, some mistake, some adverse thing has happened, there is no sense of aggression. Naturally there is no sense of aggression. So this is ahimsa. Gradually, when the sense of me is extended to this entire universe, then ahimsa will happen. Till that time we have to practice it. Till that time our consciousness expands. It will take time, it will not happen in one day, because we are accustomed otherwise. In lifetimes, over lifetimes we are accustomed otherwise. So it will take time. Till that time we have to practice non-aggressiveness in our activities, in our speech and in our mind. Forgetfully we will do something because we are so accustomed over lifetimes. See, in all the lifetimes we have not been human beings. So in some lifetimes we have been animals also. So this sense of aggressiveness is more in us. Sometimes in some people it is less. So this comes from our animal birth. So now we are human being, our work is to refine ourselves, to refine the human potentials within us. So this is the starting point of yoga. The starting point of yoga is not asana or pranayama. Asana, pranayama comes later on. So with the expansion of consciousness, the sense of mind, my expands. Now the sense of my is with my body and with my family. 2 or 3 people, 4 people of my family. Even if they do something wrong, then I will not get agitated. But if someone else, my neighbor or someone else, after 4 buildings, someone in the locality, someone at my office is doing something wrong, little bit wrong, then I get mad on that person. Because why? Because the sense of mind is not there. Okay, it is one thing to show your disappointment. It is one thing to, okay, Parthuda, it's okay. One thing to show your disappointment, one thing to show your anger, but one thing to become angry. Om Namo Narayana. One thing to become angry. So this practice of ahimsa is cardinal to the practice of yoga. Then comes the practice of satya. When we are practicing ahimsa, our consciousness is expanding. What we are seeing, so these are so interdependent. See, these Indian philosophy, Indian shastras, this is not linear in logic, that this will lead to this. This is holistic in logic. This is holistic in logic. We are accustomed in the Western education process. That is why it becomes difficult for us to understand, because we try to understand everything with a linear scientific logic. This will lead to this is like the modern sciences. No, it is not like that. Once you start practicing ahimsa with what I have already said, what is coming in front of you? Satya. The next step is satya. That the same consciousness is residing in everyone. Like the same consciousness is residing in your hand, your eyes, your ears, your nose, everywhere. So anything happens to the body, you think that it has happened to me. So you bite your tongue, you never feel agitated or aggressive for your teeth or your tongue, because it is the same consciousness. The same jiva is residing in every soul, every body, in every individual. The same soul is residing. So this is Satya. Till we are able to understand this, we have to practice by talking, by speaking the truth, and trying to spend some time every day to realize the supreme truth of our existence. Then comes Astya. See, if you have seen that the same soul, the same jiva is residing in everyone, will you be able to steal something from someone? हम लोग चोरी कब करते हैं? जब अपनत्व बुद्धि नहीं है जहाँ पर. देखिए बड़े बड़े चोर पकड़े जाते हैं, जो मैं बोलता रहता हूँ, वो कभी अपना माल नहीं चुराता है. ये जो मिनिस्टर लोग हैं, ये जो लोग पकड़े जाते हैं ना, अपना बेटा बेटी माँ बाप इसका माल नहीं चुराता है. जहाँ पर अपनत्व बुद्धि है वहाँ पर चोरी नहीं होता है. तो परम सत्य का ज्ञान हो गया कि सब जगह मैं बैठा हूँ, तब चोरी कैसे करेंगे? पर बुद्धि नहीं है, भेद बुद्धि जब मिटने लगेगा तब कैसे चोरी करेंगे? अपना चीज़ कोई चुराता है? बड़ा बड़ा चोर, जिसका ये अभी पकड़े जा रहे हैं ना वेस्ट बंगाल में, बड़े करोड़ों चुरा लिया इसका, किसका माल चुराया? अपना नहीं, दूसरे का. तो ये दूसरा बुद्धि ही विनाश के कारण है, भेद बुद्धि ही विनाश के कारण है. जब तक लगेगा वो अलग है, वो अलग है, वो अलग है, वही हमारे कष्ट की, दुख की कारण है, और कोई कारण नहीं है. तो इसको मिटाना है. मनुष्य रूप में जन्म लेने का काम ही यही है. बाकी आहार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च समानानितात पशु भी नारानाम. खाना पीना सोना ये सब तो पशु और मनुष्य में समान है. वंश वृद्धि करना ये सब समान है. लेकिन मनुष्य गुण का, टू इंक्रीज द ह्यूमन क्वालिटीज, तो अहिंसा सत्य अस्त्य, ये 3 याद रखना है. अभी बाकी धीरे धीरे बताएंगे, बताते रहते हैं हमेशा. तो बार बार सुनने से क्या होता है, ये बैठ जाता है दिमाग में. जो अध्यास हो गया जन्म जन्मांतर का, वो धीरे धीरे जाता है, एक दिन में नहीं. जब पहले बार नाम सिखाता है, ये नाम लेके तो नहीं जन्मे थे, अपुन्ना, शिप्रा, सुष्मिता, ये नाम जैस्मिन, ये नाम तो लेके नहीं जन्मे थे. जब बर्थ हुआ था हम लोग का, ये नाम टैग नहीं था हम लोग के ऊपर, ये नाम किसी ने लगा दिया. बार बार बोलते ये काल्पनिक चीज़ है नाम. मिथ्या है। इसको इतना सत्य बोध हो गया कि नींद की अवस्था में जब आप गहरी नींद में सोते हो, कोई आवाज़ से नींद नहीं टूटता है, फेवरेट खाना, फेवरेट गाना, कुछ से नींद नहीं टूटता है। लेकिन फेवरेट इंसान भी कमरे में आ जाते हैं तो नींद नहीं टूटता है। ये नाम से कोई पुकारने से नींद से उठ जाते हैं। अगर नाम सुन लिया, अगर सुनाई दे रहा है तो सो नहीं रहे हैं, अगर सो रहे हैं तो सुन नहीं सकते हैं। लेकिन नाम का महिमा ऐसा है, एक मिथ्या चीज में ऐसा अध्यास हो जा सकता है, तो सत्य में कितना टाइम लगेगा? ज़्यादा नहीं, बस इसको जो सुनते हैं, श्रवण करने से उसको मनन करना है, बार 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 बार। क्या बोले क्लास में, ये क्या है, ये हर एक काम में योग का अभ्यास करते रहना है। ठीक है। ओम नमो नारायण।